Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning is a non-profit registered society working now for more than 4 decades in the areas of Indian heritage awareness.
Ekam aksharam hridi nirantaram bhasate swayam likhyate katham hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahmamatram yaham aham iti sakshat datmarupena bhati hridi vishamanasa svam chinvata majjata va pavana chalanarodha datmanishto bhavatvam. Deham mrunmayavat jadatmakam aham buddhirna tasyastyato naham tattadabhava shukti samaye siddhyatma sadbhavatah koham bhavayutah kuto varadhiya drishtatmanishtatmanam soham spurtitaya arunachala shivaha purno vibhati swayam soham spurtitaya arunachala shivaha purno vibhati swayam. There is no limit to Bhagavan's grace. There is no limit in which he can be presented. Guruvachaka Kovai in the English version translation brought out recently by David Godman and 2 others, great writers. In that version, they try to present another Sannidhi which all Ramana devotees have experienced. They try to bring presence into the present Ramana Sannidhi. For this, they once again rely on Bhagavan's words, Bhagavan's interactions with the great poet Muruganar Swamigal. It is Muruganar Swamigal who requested Bhagavan to compose Ulladu Narpadu and Upadeshasaram, who has actually compiled the Guruvachaka Kovai. Guruvachaka Kovai is nothing but talks with Ramana Maharshi in Tamil, but in verse form, without the questions from the individuals. It is all Bhagavan's Upadesha directly in verse form. There is this translation in which they attempt, a wonderful attempt, but still they have relied on Bhagavan's words. That's why I am presenting it before you. Muruganar Swamigal, while writing a verse on how he came to present these words of such great import, one sentence of Bhagavan is enough to take one across the ocean of samsara. So Muruganar takes no credit for any of those words in the work. He writes, it is not this idiot who has written all these wonderful words. It is Bhagavan himself who made me right. Now Bhagavan makes a significant but small correction in that verse written by Muruganar Swamigal. And the authors of this work go ahead to say, this is authentication of the work itself as well as of the credibility of Muruganar's presentation. In the correction Bhagavan makes, that Muruganar wrote all these verses and was made to write in the presence of Bhagavan without any volition on Bhagavan's part. That Muruganar Swamigal was made to write, but was not made to write by Bhagavan with a volition, with an effort. In the effortless self-abidance of Bhagavan, a Sannidhi is created. In that Sannidhi, whoever goes, it is the experience of many, even today in Ramanashram. Why even? That one's doubts are cleared. What one eagerly and anxiously waits for in his spiritual quest is immediately given. In that presence, so the writers present that Bhagavan agrees that a presence is created, a Sannidhi is created in the self-abidance, in the effortless abidance of a Jnani. And it is in that Sannidhi that Muruganar was present and he wrote the entire Guru Vachaka Kovai. So we have, with Bhagavan's words, we have tried to bring Sannidhi, the presence, into the present. Let's see, let's tread very carefully because, and Bhagavan should help us to tread carefully. Bhagavan's presence, which is unexplainable, which is beyond all human comprehension, which is beyond the mind, was experienced. This presence is present always. It appears he was called to make a speech in a center, in a place, not here. I remember that it must have been something connected to spiritual speech only, but not connected with Bhagavan directly. That evening, before the day of the speech, he gets this great anxiety. What am I doing? Going here, speaking and doing that and doing this. There are so many works of Bhagavan which I have left unread, which I have not touched. I should have gone to Tiruvannamalai. Instead of going to this, I should have been there reading those books. I am wasting my time. But Dharma, he has given his commitment that he will come. So he puts aside his anxiety and goes and makes the speech. As usual, at the end of the speech, the speaker is given a memento and he goes home and keeps it. After a little bit of passage of time, he just says to somebody around, why don't you open that package? The writer says, the speaker says, they were all books on Bhagavan. The memento was a collection of works on Bhagavan, of which the first one I remember hazily. It was something about the abundant grace of Bhagavan. Now where is the Sannidhi? which presence has answered his anxiety, not there, not somewhere, but right in his home, right where he is, that great spiritual anxiety of. The speaker went on to say something. He calls the organizers and asks, "Did you know I am a Ramana Bhakt, that you have thoughtfully presented these books to me?" And the presenters, the organizers, they tell, "Oh, sorry sir, not like that. We usually have this habit of giving some books that have come to us as present. This morning, the day of the speech, that morning, this bundle of books arrived from somewhere. Since it was available, we just handed it over to you." Now, we are treading very tenuous territory, but still with Bhagavad experience, and I have not moved from those presentations in this Sannidhi. Let's take this a little bit further. 2.5 years ago, Akka had come to Bangalore South searching for a place which is convenient to hold satsang. One of the reasons being Veda Brahmam, Subraya Sharma sir, could easily make his presentation. He was finding it difficult to come here all the way on Saturdays. And it is an opportunity to extend the center's work to Bangalore South. So I just accompanied the party to various spots. We had visited a temple, we had visited a place which was available. At the end of which I just requested, "Akka, our home is very near. Would you mind coming to our home?" She said, "Why not?" See, the Ramana devotees, they have this quality that when another devotee calls, however new he may be, however less he may know about Bhagavan, they don't look to all that. She just came home, and a few months back we had constructed a meditation hall in our home. She was sitting there in the hall, a small one, 25 by 10 or something like that. She voiced, "Why are we looking here and there? Why don't we have the satsang here itself?" My wife and I, we were beside ourselves with joy. Because when we were to put in the construction, we had only the meditation hall in mind. But Bhagavan allowed us a dwelling place also there. And we had constructed the dwelling place, and above that the meditation hall. And Bhagavan was to come to us every Saturday. What joy can be there? What better joy can be there to a devotee? We didn't physically fall at her feet, but mentally we just fell at her feet and said yes. And from that day on, 6:30 every Saturday, our belief is that Bhagavan comes and waits for us.